time to play Dark Box on PTCGO. Welcome back everyone to more from the Sableyes. I'm Mitch and today we're going to take a look at Dark Box, an ever popular deck on Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. It's very, very popular. People like it. It's not quite as good as it could have been, but it's still super, super powerful. So what we'll do is we'll jump across to PTCGO in just a second to talk about the deck list. But before we do that, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing, like the video, and jump down below. There's a whole bunch of links to social media and stuff. Twitter and Twitch are two that I would 100% recommend, as well as Discord if you are interested in a very tiny amount of conversation. But come across, do that. That would be great. Follow on Twitch as well, because I'm doing more streams over there, which I'd really like you to attend. That would be cool if you like them, but it's up to you. I don't control you. Like the video. Let's go to PTCGO. So here we are with our Dark Box deck list. It's very, very solid. Thank you very much to, I think it was Count the Money who sent me this one. Thank you very much. A very, very long time viewer. And this list is super, super good. Nice and consistent, super easy to get going. It's obviously not going to win every single game you play, but it is still relatively competitive. Obviously, the Dark Box is built around Weavile-GX and the Shadow Connection ability. This ability allows you to move any dark energy from any basic dark energy from your Pokemon to another. Means that you can accelerate a bunch of dark energy onto the field and then move them into an attacker whenever you like. And if your attacker doesn't get knocked out, you can switch it out of the active and move all the energy from that attacker to another one. It's really, really good. It has Claw Slash for 130, but we're probably not going to use that. Again, Nocturnal Maneuvers GX, probably not reliable as an attack. Instead, we're just going to focus on our Shadow Connection. We're going to try and use a variety of dark attackers, as well as our Mewtwo and Mew-GX to try and get these attacks off early. So, Perfection allows us to copy the attacks of any Pokemon GX or EX in play or the discard. We have a ton of different attackers. We have Greninja and Zoroark, which can attack with Dark Pulse for 2 energy, 30 damage, plus 30 for every dark energy attached to your Pokemon. In the late game, this can be super powerful. In the early game, it's a good, consistent, and easy attack to get off for a couple of dark energy. We also have Mega Sableye and Tyranitar, which is kind of a bit of a greedy card, a greedy crush. Deals 210 damage, and if this attack knocks out a Pokemon GX or EX, we take an extra prize. So 210, that'll knock out a Dedenne. We can knock out a Dedenne, take 3 prizes, and move on with our lives. That's pretty good. Also, Gigafall-GX deals 250. It's our largest attack. It's got the biggest number on it. It's probably not going to be their GX attack of choice, but if we do have 5 extra energy attached, so 10 dark energy attached to our Pokemon, we can mill the top 15 cards of our opponent's deck, which can potentially give us another win condition, so it is worth remembering that. Our main attacker, though, is going to be Umbreon and Darkrai-GX. This one's really good. It's not quite as good as it has been in the past, because obviously people aren't playing as many GX Pokemon anymore. But Black Lance for 3 energy deals 150 damage to the active, and then 60 damage to one of our opponent's benched Pokemon. So that can potentially set up some knockouts. It can deal some solid damage, and that's all we want it to do. Dark Moon GX is the real piece de resistance of this particular card. For 1 colorless energy, we can force our opponent to not play any trainer cards from their hand, and if we have an extra 5 darkness energy attached, so 6 energy, we knock out the Pokemon in our opponent's active spot. And this is the way that we're going to try and take some big knockouts in this particular deck. If we can get Dark Moon GX off without having any problems, and we can knock out our opponent's active, it can be really, really easy to force a situation where we go on to win the game, because like if they can't play any trainers, they can't disrupt our hand, they can't set up their board state. So Dark Moon GX, particularly early on, is very, very powerful. We also have Silvally-GX in this deck, a bit of extra consistency with Disc Reload, and another 2 energy attack with Brave Buddies. But ultimately, the reason that we have our Silvally-GX and our Weavile-GX is due to our Red and Blue Tag Team Supporter, which is an incredibly good supporter for accelerating energy in decks like this. What we do is we search our deck for a Pokemon GX that evolves from one of our Pokemon. Then we put that Pokemon into play. by evolving the basic on our bench. Pretty good. If we discard 2 cards, we not only evolve our Pokemon, but we also search for 2 basic energies as well, and chuck those onto that Pokemon. And that means that realistically, we can get a Weavile out pretty consistently, and not only do we get a Weavile out, we also get some extra darkness energy as well. So, an incredibly good effect from a supporter to get our energy into play. We also have Turbo Patch, which can get energy into play. We can attach it to basic Pokemon that aren't GXs, so really our only option is Crobat V, or maybe one of our Type Null or Sneasels. But if we have the Crobat in play, we can just Turbo Patch, get those energies on there, and then move them around with Weavile, so it's not a massive problem. We also have the Dedenne-GX as well, but we can't Turbo Patch to that. Beyond that, our consistency engine is pretty similar to lots of other engines floating around at the moment. We do play 4 Tag Call, however, because we do have a lot of Tag Team Pokemon, plus our Red and Blues are Tag Team cards, which we can search out. Cynthia Caitlin, a little bit of a consistency card that we can find with that as well. Beyond that, we have things like Viridian Forest to help us find energy. We've got a couple of Quick Balls and a couple of Pokecoms, so we can find our Pokemon a little more easily. And then 3 Research and 3 Boss, so that we can have that extra bit of draw. So it's pretty good. Most of these cards we can play relatively quickly and draw more cards with Disc Reload Silvally as well. So we'll be able to do a bunch of stuff with this deck, and hopefully we can get the 11 Darkness Energies that we have in our deck into play at some point. You never know, we might be able to get a win with Gigafall-GX if we're lucky. But yeah, as long as we get our Weaviles into play, we'll be happy. What we'll do is we'll jump over onto PTCGO now. Well, we're already on PTCGO, onto the ladder, and we will play a couple of games with this thing. See how we go. It's better than playing ADP, right? Alrighty, into game 1. We've got ourselves a pretty bad... So that's okay, we've top-decked a Darkrai here. So that's pretty good. We can attach to that. We can Quick Ball away a Darkness Energy, grab ourselves a Sneasel, which will get our Weavile into play next turn, and then pass. Cynthia Caitlin being our only draw support is a little awkward here, but that's okay. We still have 3 cards to gain from it. We could potentially top deck something better as well. But think about it this way. We've at least got a fresh 3 cards coming next turn, and our opponent, playing Zacian, is unlikely to be able to attack this turn. They're probably going to go for an Intrepid Sword. We'll have to wait and see. They've got an Energy Spinner, so we could potentially be looking at an ADP deck here. Interestingly enough, if you are a person that plays competitively online, the Limitless TCG tournaments just announced today, as this video is being recorded, that ADP Zacian is probably not going to be a deck anymore. They've banned ADP as a card in their events only. So it'll be interesting to see how that dominoes into other cards, or into other tournaments. Obviously, there's things like Chill TCG's tournaments, there's Hegster and Crollo as well. It'll be interesting to see whether they all decide to do the same thing. But Limitless deciding to ban ADP means we may not see this deck as much competitively. They've got an attachment, but no GX attack, which is good. It gives us a chance to draw some cards. And look at that, a Crobat off of the top deck. That's really, really good. Means that we can play down our Weavile, we can attach another Darkness Energy, and then Crobat for 5. And see what we get here. We've got a Type Null, which we do want to have. I'm going to Cynthia and Caitlin and discard the Quick Ball here, I think. We obviously don't have any supporters in the discard to get back. Mewtwo and Mew is pretty good. We might need like Viridian Forest or something later. I don't want to do anything else here, I don't think. I think we just want to pass. Realistically, our opponent is going to be trying to find a switch and a Water Energy to get their ADP powered up. That means that next turn, we really want to find like Turbo Patch. What are we going to need? We're going to need Turbo Patch and Red and Blue and an attachment so that we can use our GX attack to knock out this ADP. But it's going to be a little bit awkward to do that. I'm not sure that we're realistically going to be able to. But that's okay. It's fine. We're not too worried. Especially with this hand we have. We're unlikely to be able to do anything, frankly. So they'll be using their GX attack. We've got nothing in the discard. What are they doing here? Are they going to Ultimate Ray this Dedenne rather than GXing? They're going to Ultimate Ray this Dedenne. That's interesting. That is very interesting. That means that we can potentially get ourselves a GX attack off and knock this ADP out after it GXs. This is really weird play. Because if they use... I guess they're going, oh, I want to get energy in play so that if we do get knocked out by the Darkrai, we don't get super hard punished for it. But, you know, like, they didn't really... I don't think they really needed to do that, but that's okay. What do we got here? We've got a Viridian Forest, so we can play that down. We can Pokecom. We'll get rid of probably the Mewtwo here. We'll see what we've got. We've got a couple of cards floating around. I think Silvally-GX is probably the right one. It just means that we're not likely to be able to get the GX attack off this turn for many damage counters. What we can do is we can attach an energy to Umbreon Darkrai, discard the second one, grab ourselves an energy. If we want, we can double switch into the Weavile and then back into the Darkrai so that we can get some more value out of our Silvally. We'll draw those cards here. Okay, this is a good situation to be in. What we can do is we can Quick Ball, get rid of the Pokecom and grab ourselves another type Null. I think that's probably the right thing to do because next turn we can Tag Call and get ourselves a second Silvally and some more energy in play, which is the most important thing. Alright, let's, I think we Black Lance here. I don't think there's ever worth using our GX attack right now. If we use the GX attack, it only stops them using trainer cards. They've already got energy in play, so it's not the end of the world for them. They're likely to want to Ultimate Ray because they've already kind of committed to this one attack kind of situation. They're GXing, Great Catching out the Silvally, which I don't mind. I would have been really worried if it was the Weavile, to be honest. If they had gone into the Weavile, that would have been really annoying. Just because we wouldn't have had the flexibility to go into another attacker later on. And we're getting Marnied, so our good turn next turn has been stymied a little bit. But that's okay, we've still got all the pieces that we need. Weavile-GX, a type Null, and some energy. None of these cards are particularly strong, but that's okay. They're going to have a second... oh my god, they're going to GX in my face here. Right, okay, this research is really big. That's a good top deck, for sure. I think I'm going to attach... Let's attach to Silvally, because it means we can at least get the get an attack off with Silvally if we need to. I think we disc reload now, get a couple of extra cards, and then... Oh, Turbo Patch. Can we get the Turbo Patch? No, okay. Coin flip cards are bad. Let's research. We will try and find something to do here. We don't have the red and blue yet because we've already researched this turn. But we can definitely take a knockout here. We can switch into a Mewtwo if we want to. Switch into the Darkrai and attack that way. I don't know what the best course of action here is. We obviously do want to take a knockout. I think it is right to go into... we don't get the knockout with Silvally, I don't think. So I think it is right to go into the Mewtwo. This gives us a little bit more flexibility. It means next turn we can discard the Zoroninja, which is good. We can get that extra attacker going. And what we'll do is we'll move all of the energy off of this. Actually, we should put the energy from the Silvally onto the active as well, because they're not going to be able to knock me out. They've already used the Zigzagoon. What's the chance that they use another one? And then we can we Brave Buddies? Does Brave Buddies get a knockout? I don't think it does. I think we have to Black Lance here. What other options do we have? Silver Knight. We don't want to use that. I think we just Black Lance. That guarantees the knockout. Again, disappointing we don't get the 60 extra damage, but that's okay. Now, listen. This is an interesting turn. If we get hit here for 260. If they have a Zigzagoon, they probably win this game. If they don't have a Zigzagoon, then we are in this really cool spot where we actually might be able to guarantee a win next turn. Because they can't knock us out without a Zigzagoon. We can use red and blue to evolve the type Null on the bench, get ourselves a second Silvally, but most importantly, extra energy into play. Then, what we can do is we can get an attachment to one of our other attackers, and next turn, boss out the Zigzagoon, because they won't be able to use trainers to get their Zigzagoon off of the field. So, if we don't get knocked out here, I think we're actually about to lock up the game. But, that is a big if we don't get knocked out. They can't money us, because they've already played Sonya. Going to attach another energy to Zacian, which is fair enough. Fair enough. What's gonna happen here? What is gonna happen here? So I have to presume that they're just gonna Brave Blade, right? That's what they have to do. Oh, they're going to Fion. All right, so they're gonna make this even easier. I can just give you this Crobat because it doesn't actually matter. And then they take 3 prizes on the Crobat. We promote the Mewtwo. And we should be good. I think we actually win this game now, guys. I think we legitimately win this game now. Oh, we just top-decked red and blue. How good's that? We will grab our last remaining tag team Pokemon from the deck. Then we will red and blue. Let's discard the 2 dark attackers to grab Silvally-GX. As long as there are 2 dark energies in the deck, which there are, lucky us, then we are good to go here. And then we can just thin out these tag calls, I guess. We don't really need these anymore, because all of our tag team cards are gone. We can attach an energy to the active. We can move 1 more dark energy to the active to get the GX tag off. Let's just thin with Pokecom. It doesn't really matter. We can just get rid of all those cards and disc reload. Grab ourselves a few more. We can discard the energy and try and turbo patch if we want. Oh, we don't have the basic. That's okay. Don't worry about it. That was dumb. That was actually really dumb. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's gonna matter. It's gonna end up mattering. Just watch it end up mattering. It's okay. Let's Shadow Connection. We need an extra 1 on the active. We just leave it like that, and then we can use, where is it? Dark Moon. Make sure we don't use Dark Union. Dark Moon GX. We have all the extra stuff, so we will get a knockout here. I think, do we attack or do we get the extra? No, let's just attack, because we could get an extra card off of the Silvally. But I don't think there's a way for our opponent to win here, unless they are holding a copy of Zigzagoon in their hand. There is no way for our opponent to win this turn. So we just have to wait and see. They can't use trainers, so they can't disrupt us in any way. We've got the boss in hand. We can just take a knockout next turn with our Mewtwo and Mew or our Silvally-GX, whatever one we prefer, as long as there is no Zigzagoon. That's the key. As long as there's no Zigzagoon, we will win. We just have to wait. We just have to wait, guys. We have to wait for him to realize that there's no way out. There is no way out for this Zacian. He's getting rid of a Cherish Ball. He's doing nothing. Come on. Come on here, man. We can do it. I believe in you. Attack for 260. It's not enough. Oh, he's going to attach an energy to Zigzagoon. Alright. I wonder why he's going to do that. He must think that he's got a coin flip chance to win the game next turn. Well, we did it. That Dark Moon GX is pretty good. Let's gust out that Zigzagoon, and then we can attack with pretty much any attack we want. We're going to use Black Lance. 150 damage is enough to get our last prize. And there you go. Victory for Darkbox over ADP, no less. Alright, we go again. We are going first this time, and we have found ourselves another ADP. This time, though, we have a little bit of a better setup here. We can grab ourselves a Sneasel, and then pass the turn. We don't need to play this Crobat down. We don't really want to give our opponent the opportunity to take more prize cards than they need. Plus, we have red and blue for next turn, so next turn we can get rid of a Professor's Research and the Turbo Patch or whatever we top deck to get ourselves either a Weavile or a type Null's Evolution Silvally-GX. And it's a Dark Energy, which is actually really good, because what we can do is we can use the second effect of red and blue, discard the energy, no, the Turbo Patch and the, what do you call it? What's the guy's name? I forget. The Research, we can get ourselves an energy attachment, draw ourselves some more cards, and now we've got ourselves a nice little setup here. And top decking that Silvally is actually really, really good. We can chuck that into the active here and move some energy cards. We can Shadowy Connection here, get some energy onto our Silvally, and now we can Brave Buddies. It's not the best attack in our deck, but at least it's dealing some damage. We will Brave Buddies. That will do 120, which means that we are that much closer to getting a knockout next turn with an attack. an attack, whatever the attack is. I don't actually know if we have an attack that we can realistically get to next turn. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 180. We might be able to do it with Greninja Zoroark. That could potentially be an option because it has that base 30. So base 30 plus... No, we'll be short because that's not 180, is it? No. 3 times 5 is 150. Maths is hard. I don't think we're going to do it, but that's okay. We can just Brave Buddies again, and we've got a tag call here now, so we've got that Cynthia Caitlin. We have access to that, which is fantastic. We can get rid of a couple of tag team Pokemon here if we want. They are obviously going to go for the GX attack here. And we should be fine. We've got a quick ball now as well. Let's tag call first. I like the idea of Mewtwo and that Mega Sableye. Since the Dedenne is in the deck, that means that we can play the Mewtwo down. We'll be able to... I don't know if we want to bench any of these guys. I think we just want to discard them. Let's grab Viridian Forest into play. We'll go for the quick ball, discard, and grab ourselves Dedenne. And then we can just Dedenne, discard those 2 cards, and see where we end up. What have we got? We've got a switch, we've got a Weavile, a Sneasel, sorry, as well. A red and blue for the turn after, so it's looking pretty good. We can switch into that Mewtwo now, play down the Sneasel. We can discard our second Viridian Forest to grab another energy. Then we can disc reload for a couple of cards, see what we get. Not a lot, but that's okay. We can Shadow Connection. We'll move the energy off of the Silvally-GX, and then we'll move another one up to the Mewtwo as well. I will do that off of the Weavile because we have the second Sneasel in play. We can actually, no, we should probably, no, we'll leave it on the Weavile. We'll leave it on the Weavile, right? We can tempt him. We can tempt him. Now, I don't have enough to use Dark Moon here, so instead I will just Dark Pulse, and unfortunately my maths is wrong, so 270 is all that we have, but that means we can potentially knock it out with a Umbreon Darkrai attack. We get that 60 Snipe from Black Lance, because we have that in the discard pile. So it's not all over. It is just unlikely that we do it. We'd need to top deck Boss. And that would be something else if we were to do that. We can play Turbo Patch next turn though, because we have Sneasel and Crobat in play, so that's obviously pretty good. They're going for an attachment to the ADP. We might just be seeing a Ultimate Ray onto Double here, which is not a particularly inspiring turn. That's a Crobat. What do they have? Do they have anything? That is the question. Do they have anything that they can do this turn? Ultimate Ray. No, they don't. Okay, so they're just going to power up either a Zacian or a Double here. Probably the Zacian. Get that powered and ready to go. Are they going to put a Water Energy on Double? They're actually going to power that Double right up. Wow, okay. No worries. What have we got to do here? Let's discard an energy and not find one. We can attach to, like, the Dedenne. It doesn't really matter. So we can move it around. Then Turbo Patch gets the heads, so we can attach to the Sneasel. Now, if we want to be greedy, we can red and blue, but I think we actually just want to play it safe here, almost. I feel like we want to just play it safe and go into, like, this Sneasel or something, because we can deal 10 with agility if we want to. Then we can disc reload. That's a coin flip for agility, isn't it? I probably do need to red and blue into this thing. We need a red and blue into Weavile and then knock out with Weavile. Because I need to keep the Mewtwo in play. Yeah, this seems like the right way to go. Because we can discard the Type Null and the Pokecom here. Get ourselves Weavile. As long as... Yes, as long as there are 2 energy in play, this is fine. Because we have an energy in our hand, right? So it means that if they knock out the Weavile next turn, which is the most likely knockout, then we have 6 energy in play for our Mewtwo and Mew. I think we just claw... well, actually, we should move some of these energies around, right? Let's move some of these energies off of the Mewtwo onto some of our other Pokemon, just in case. Just in case things go wrong. Because if they choose to target the Mewtwo and Mew next turn, then we've got the Quick Ball and the Retreat anyway. So we should be fine. We'll take 3 prizes here. And hopefully we set ourselves up nicely. There's another Mewtwo and Mew, which is good. Another Energy and a Boss's Orders. So all three of those cards, really, really good. Double here, Revenge Blast, is quite frightening. But the thing that's more frightening is them getting a Powered Zacian this turn. That's incredibly annoying. So they're going to Revenge Blast, take the knockout here. How do I go about this? How do I go about this? Because we need to knock out this double and not get knocked out by Zacian. Can we Greedy Crush? Do we have enough to Greedy Crush? We do. Excellent. Okay, so what we can do is we can just attach. We can move all of these energies onto our Mewtwo here, and then we'll have 6. Same amount as our Umbreon Darkrai's attack cost, but because of the boss in our hand and the Dedenne on the bench, what we can do is we can just gust up the Dedenne and then attack with... Where is it? Oh, we didn't even get to click the button. They just conceded on us. That's disappointing. One last game here, and we are up against Inteleon. We've got a pretty good hand again here. Just going to Pokecom away this and go for the type Null. Well played, says FL Panda. Does that mean that he doesn't have anything to do? Is that what that means? I don't know. Let's grab ourselves a... we've got a Dedenne in hand, so I think we go for the Mewtwo here. We can move that into play. Well played! So he obviously has nothing. Either that or he's being rude. And hey, if he's being rude, then that's his prerogative. We've got a Viridian Forest here. We can chuck this into play. It's a bit annoying because it gives them access to it, but we can get rid of the Turbo Patch here and grab ourselves an energy. No problems. We'll attach that to the active and then pass. We've got Tagcool in our hand, so red and blue is active next turn. Plus we have a couple of decent cards as well. We can realistically discard our entire hand next turn and Silvally-GX for 5. They're playing down a Snom. So it looks like they actually do have stuff to do here. I wonder why they're saying well played for. Marnie, that's annoying because we're going to lose our good hand here. Going to be shuffled into a hopefully better one. That's not bad. That's acceptable. That's okay. It's a bit annoying though we don't have the Weavile. I think we're going to need to go for the type Null. Oh, they've got the Snipe Shot onto the Sneasel. That's also annoying. I think what we need to do is we need to red and blue here into type Null. So we can, onto type Null to get Silvally-GX so that we can draw a few more cards. I think that's going to have to be the way. I'm going to get rid of an energy and the second type Null here to grab ourselves our Silvally-GX. Since we discarded 2 cards, we get 2 energy in play as well. This is good for us because it means that we can empty our hand out. Turbo Patch gives us nothing. Excellent. Another well played. What are you doing, FL Panda? Do you think that you've just won? Do you think that you've just won the game? Is that what you think? Let's tag call. We'll grab ourselves Greninja Zoroark. Stop saying well played. Why are you doing this? The game is well and truly going. What is going on? Oh my god, I don't understand that at all. We'll Shadow Connection. We'll move an extra energy across to our Darkrai in the active. And then we can Black Lance and deal 150 damage to the Inteleon in the active. I'm really curious as to why he keeps saying well played. Is he just trying to he's trying to psych me out? Is he trying to psych me out? I don't know. Second Inteleon on the bench. They're going to Capacious Bucket. Now we're going to get a lot of value out of Umbreon Darkrai's GX attack if he evolves into a VMAX at any point. The problem is going to be that he will be able to remove some of our energy from play. So like this VMAX here, which he's going for, he can he can Hydro Snipe the active and remove an energy, which is kind of annoying. And he has the Dedenne as well. That's a pretty good setup. We could like gust up that Dedenne and deal 150 to it. Maybe that's a play. I don't know. Force him to have a switch. We could just hit into this. It's kind of awkward because we don't have a way to deal 170 damage easily. Especially now that Greninja Zoroark's being shuffled into the deck. Maybe we could have avoided that. We could potentially go for the Tyranitar and Mega Sableye attack if we can get into Mewtwo this turn, but that's also unlikely. Here comes the Hydro Snipe, so they'll do 60 damage and remove one of our energies. That's a bit annoying. What we can do is we can play the Sneasel down here, which I don't mind. It gives us access to Turbo Patch, which is again a Tails. So I think we're just gonna have to hit into. Well, maybe we do go for the Dedenne, or maybe I got the Frostmoth. This is an annoying choice. I think the Dedenne is the best one if we're gonna gust something, because then we can at least kill it later. We can at least knock it out later. So that's my thought process for doing this. Then we're going to Silvally-GX, draw 3 cards, and we find the switch. So it might be worth going into Mewtwo now, just because that way we can at least use some other attacks if we do avoid the energy denial next turn. Gives us a little bit more flexibility. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to we're going to move all of them onto the Mewtwo because they can't really do anything to us. And from there we can Black Lance, deal 150 damage. We cannot get a better attack than that at the moment, and it means that the Dedenne is that close to being knocked out. If we can find another gust later, the Dedenne will be free, or we can do, you know, some other stuff. We'll wait and see. We will wait and see. We're going to retreat into the Inteleon. Are they going to go for Max Bullet or Hydro Snipe here? Both are quite frustrating and annoying. The real annoying thing is if we had have managed to find one copy of Turbo Patch heads out of the 3 that we flipped, then we would have actually been able to knock out this Inteleon in one shot here. The worst bit is, if we find ourselves red and blue, we actually can't get the value from the Sneasel because the Weavile is in our hand, which is quite annoying. So we may find ourselves in a really sticky situation here where this Mewtwo gets dealt a lot of damage. I'm going to Max Bullet here, and I imagine they're going to put the 60 onto the Darkrai? Yeah, okay. So they're trying to set up a win con here where they can get multiple. Oh, we could have got the Weavile. If the Weavile was not in our hand, we could have got the. Oh no, there's no red and blues. It's fine. There's no red and blues. It's not a worry. Alright, so what we can at least do here is we can Cynthia and Caitlin. We can discard that Greninja Zoroark that we did find. I want to get the boss back, please. That seems like a valuable card to have. And then we can attach an energy, but we don't really want to attach it to the Mewtwo, so we'll attach it to the Darkrai, just because Mewtwo's going to be able to be knocked out this turn. What is the smartest thing for us to do to try and get a win here? We've got the boss, so eventually we'll be able to use Darkrai-GX to get 3 prizes. But the key is the Inteleon, right? We need to take a knockout on the Inteleon somehow. Do we just, retreat into the Darkrai and then attack? Maybe. Let's Shadowy Connection. Let's just move some of this energy around a little bit. It might actually just be worth using Greninja Zoroark. Let's move some of these energies around. We'll move one onto the Dedenne. We will move the one off of our Darkrai, just because that's likely to get knocked out. And then I think we just attack with Greninja Zoroark, because we're going to be doing, 369, 180 damage with Dark Pulse. I think that's the best choice. 180. I think that's going to be enough. It's an awkward one. It puts the Inteleon within range of being knocked out by a Darkrai's attack, I think. 180 plus 150 is 310? No, it's not 330, right? It's 330. Okay, so we should be able to get a knockout with a Darkrai next turn. We have all the things that we need. We can actually take 5 prizes next turn and have a fresh... This is interesting, because we can have a fresh Mewtwo in the active. We just need to hope that they don't have boss, right? I think this has become winnable if they don't have boss. They have boss now. Okay, they're going to go and boss the Weavile out. Okay, so they're going to take 2 prizes on that and then put some damage on the Mewtwo. That's a very interesting play, if you don't mind me saying so. I guess they're presuming that they're going to be able to get a knockout on both of our tag teams next turn, maybe? I don't know. Seems like a weird choice. Would have just attacked into the Mewtwo, surely. That's okay, we've got another Mewtwo, we can attach an energy to that one. Then we can use our second Weavile-GX. I think we probably want to switch into the benched Mewtwo. We can burn this tag call because there's nothing in the deck. Switch into the benched Mewtwo and then boss. We'll disc reload once though, we don't need any extra cards in our hand. That Crobat does look pretty good though. Let's have a think here. What is the smart thing to do? Is it just take the prizes? Is it just take the prizes? Because we have boss to win the game after this. We have 2 bosses. Let's Training Court, get ourselves another energy. I think what we're going to do is we're going to switch into the bench Mewtwo, move some energy to it, Darkrai, knock out the active and the bench, and then hope from there. I think that's all we can realistically do. Sorry, this is a bit of a thinky one. Because do we just leave ourselves... That just leaves us open to losing the game the next turn. But there's nothing else I can realistically do, right? I could bring this one out. I could bring this one out, actually. And then just knock this one out with Dark Pulse. Because now he doesn't have access to the shooty boys anymore. Seems fine. I don't hate that. This is also risky. I didn't have to do that. Sad face. It was probably the better play to just gust up the Dedenne, to just attack the Dedenne. Have I just completely misplayed myself out of this game? I may have just misplayed myself out of this game. He's gonna Dedenne, he's gonna go looking for the boss. He's going looking for the boss. Heartbreak emoji. Dare I say it, well played? Do I get the well played from you? Do I get the well played from you, buddy? He's just going to attach a bunch of stuff. He's going to research. There's no boss. Oh, how sad. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why at the beginning of games you don't spam emotes, because it makes you look a fool. It makes you look a fool, a fool, a fool, a fool, a fool. Look at all these cards that aren't boss. Heartbreak from FL Panda. Please, mate, just lose. Thank you very much. Not enough damage. And now we can just promote either of our attackers, Umbreon Darkrai or Mewtwo Mew, move 3 energy to the active, and then we win the game from there. Whew, pretty good stuff. Oh, and he's going to concede before I even get to say well played back. That's a shame. So it's a pretty good deck, right? I enjoyed myself. I don't know why opponents on PTCGO sometimes do that, but it's okay. That's their prerogative. Just don't be one of those people. If you do like Pokemon trading card game, though, then please consider subscribing to the channel. Like the video so that more people can see it. It is currently, what date is it? It's the 28th of December. That means that you have 2 or 3 days left to enter the giveaway that was on my Christmas video. Jump across to that one if you can find it. It's only the last video that I uploaded, so you should be fine. And leave a comment to be in the running to win 50 Vivid Voltage packs on PTCGO. Whew! It's a fun one. Follow on Twitch. You'll probably see us over there a couple of times a week from now on. Maybe a bit more. We'll see how it goes. We're doing some crazy stuff. There's a Pokemon Soul Silver Nuzlocke happening at the moment, so if you're interested in that, then join in on those particular streams. But apart from that, I'll leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for coming along. I really appreciate you sticking with us over the holiday period. Hopefully you did have a good holidays. Have a safe New Year in the next couple of days, and if I don't see you before then yeah, it is 2021. Congrats, we did it, everyone. Well done. Well done, we made it. Goodbye. Right hand wave.